Alrighty, hello. I was thinking about today how important it is to, where's the fly? To have deep, meaningful friendship. I'm realizing that more and more, and I've kind of reanalyzed my friendships since the last week. And I've just kind of figured out how much it means to me to have a real, actual, honest, true, loyal, reliable friend. That I think is not only rare and hard to find, but also just so important for a lot of different reasons. I used to... This fly has to get out of here. Come on, fly. I think for a while, when I was partying a lot more and I was just kind of not focused on the right things, I think that I valued fake friendship way too much and more than I ever should. And because, let's see, what's the reasoning there? I think that the reason is because it feels good to cover up your problems. You don't want to have... Well, this is what I'm saying. I used to think is I didn't want to have a friend who was willing to speak deeply enough with me to kind of go in, to dive in deep and go into some more intense, deep shit. That kind of scared me. I think that scares a lot of people because it opens up the idea of figuring out what your real, honest, actual problems are and who you are. Is when you have those kind of conversations that might be difficult. But they mean so much more, and they kind of open up a lot more doors. I think that a lot of people, and again, myself included, when I used to be in the wrong state of mind, is they just want to have some friends so they can forget about all their shit, right? They just want to cover it all up. They don't want to talk about it. They want to just forget about everything and talk about The Voice or I don't know, Captain America or some shit or some Netflix show. They don't want to talk about what's really bothering them in life, because that's scary. That's not an easy thing to talk about what's really actually bothering you. I've been thinking recently about starting therapy, because I think for a long time in my life I wasn't really ready for it. I'm reaching for my notepad. I think for most of my life I wasn't really ready for therapy or ready even to think about it. But now I think that could really be beneficial to me. I think therapy would really help because again, I think that it's dangerous. While it might feel good in the moment to run from your problems and just talk to your fake friends who just want to get drunk, that might feel good in the moment, but I think that deep down people know that that's not the way to go. I think deep down people understand that there's some more important shit to talk about. There's some more valuable things that we need to be going over. So I think that was... Let's see, what else did I have? Hang on. Okay, yeah, so I have just how much I think that I value more now than ever. I said real, deep, meaningful friendships. And then, so I guess I've kind of been over that. And then also, I just said, don't forget face. And so I think that most people, like I've already kind of talked about, most people want to just forget their problems. They don't want to get that, all their deep-seated issues surfaced. They don't want to bring those to the surface. They want to push those down far, far away so they don't have to think about it. And then just kind of move on. I think that, or I guess so there's moving on and there's moving forward. I don't know the difference. But I think it's worth reevaluating the friends that you have. Because again, I've been over this before too, is just how important it is, or how much of an impact the people in your life have on you. So I think it's worth evaluating just in that sense. But I think just for the friendship's sake, let's see, what am I trying to say here? I think it's worth it in many different ways, on many different levels. It's worth reevaluating who you're hanging out with, and maybe searching for something new. It's a little bit scary because after reanalyzing my friendships that I have been hanging out with, that my friends, I've realized that a lot of that's fake. Like, if I were to go and talk to them about some real shit, or if something bad were to happen, or if I would really need them there at a moment's notice, like for an emergency, or if I needed like a go-to right-hand guy I could trust, I kind of realized I don't have as many of those as I thought, and that's an interest. I do. They're out there for sure. I've got a few, but not as many as I thought. A lot of them wouldn't take a bullet for me. A lot of them wouldn't be there. Like, they're not invested. And so realizing that's interesting. And I was talking to one of my mom's friends, and she was just saying how sorry, hang on. She was saying how there was one of her friends that was like 50 or 40 something, and I think that he went on just like some website and just posted like, I'm looking for a friend. Like I really just need a friend. Wow, that was almost a crash right there. And that's, I think, very humbling and very difficult especially as a 40 or 50-year-old man or woman, doesn't really matter, I guess. But just to be honest and say, you know what? I need a friend. I need someone that I can really rely on and that I can actually trust and put my life, just trust with my life. So I think that it's something that we all. Is that my roommate? That might be my roommate. It's something that we all, I think that the need for compassion, and I think that the need for real friendship is very, very real, and it's something that we all as people need. Even people that are independent and very self-reliant and don't think they need anyone's help. The thing is that everyone on this planet needs help sometimes. It's just human nature. But sometimes that's tough to admit, like for me, when I think of a guy like Steve Jobs, I always think of like this guy who never had any help. He's just a total genius, and he's an innovator, and it's just him and his own brain inventing things and just doing his thing. Well, the thing is though, that's not true. He had a massive team around him. Yes, he was a great facilitator. Yes, he's a genius. Yes, he's an innovator. He still is all those things, but he had people in his life that helped him facilitate his ideas and his innovations. If it was just him, we wouldn't have an iPhone. If it was just Steve Jobs, we wouldn't have an iPhone. And that, I think, is interesting. And that's something that I think there's a good lesson there, because again, if you're a human being, the need for compassion and real people around you, as your rock, kind of going back to yesterday's video about having a solid rock to turn to, I think that is huge, and that is a massive part of happiness and part of life. So I don't know how much more I have to say really, but I think I've just kind of learned that I'm just kind of learning all these lessons. When you're at kind of your lower points in life, again, I've been over that too, is that I think that is when a lot of really important, valuable lessons are learned. You just got to look around and listen for them. And so I think that if you do that, when you're at those low points, you'll find some pretty, some pretty good stuff. And despite it being difficult and hard in the moment, you'll come out of it as a stronger person. And I've always known that, and I've always said that. Putting it into practice, of course, is a little bit different, but it is helpful knowing that I have that in my brain, that I have had that in my brain before this whole thing. So I guess that's all that I have to say. And part of the reason I was thinking about that, just making this video, was that I'm going to go backpacking here in about a week, little less than a week now, actually. Going backpacking, and I just talked to one of my friends. This is a while ago now, but I was just talking to him about how we're doing this backpacking thing, and that he's totally welcome to come. See, my words are speeding up again. I need to just. I am learning how to slow down more, but I need to be more focused on that, because even just a second ago, I start to think so quickly, and then I get tripped up on my words, and I just gotta slow down and process things more. And I've learned that. That's one of the lessons that I've learned too, from kind of being in this place of darkness a little bit. So anyway, back to the backpacking thing though. It's just I'm bringing this guy with us that on the trip now, where he's just a loyal, honest, genuine, good guy, and he's gonna come join and do some hiking with us for about a week. And I think that the people that are willing to do that and that actually want to do that are worth your while. Because a lot of people that will say they're your friends, they'll bail on you pretty quickly. I think you might come to learn. So anyway, I'm going there now. I'm gonna do some climbing now, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think so. See you tomorrow. Roger out.